Yosh hasn't picked Terran yet. That's normally the signal online that I'm ready to go. Let's do it.
As he has now decided his race.
Yosh maybe wanting a few more seconds off. You know, StarCraft's a game where, maybe unlike Unreal or maybe like Halo, you get shot, you get killed. It's you get so mad. But you spawn right back up. You're right back in the action. StarCraft, it can be 5 minutes. It can be an entire hour-long game, and that whole game is just for one win. And let me tell you something. I mean, the amount of frustration you feel. I mean, I have seen StarCraft players punch desks in half. They've been so mad after losing some of these games. I don't blame them for wanting a couple extra seconds to just start the game.
Getting started here, both players having a nice starting position, not too close, not too far.
All right, as we can see, Zerg is starting to move to the top, which is fortunately where Terran happens to be.
And we
both discussing almost accidentally moving into the observer slots before the game started.
and we immediately see Sean again moving that Overlord right towards the base of his opponent Sherwin.
Now this is a map with 4 corners. Now it's fortunately for Sean, and he's blind. You got to remember he doesn't know where Sean is, but he's going to scout the corner that he's guessing Yosh is in, and it just so happens to be the one that Yosh is indeed at. So that's going to be a nice way to start the game. If I was Sean, I'd be more than happy to find Terran the first spot on the island map with my first scouting Overlord.
Taking a look here at what is going on in the base of Sherwin.
I'm wondering if this is going to be the gas trick. If he's going to do the gas trick, common trick by Zerg to get ahead in an Overlord. It takes a drone to make a building, and what they do is they make a drone when they don't have any more food. They make an extra drone at their hatchery and then cancel the geyser. It looks like in this case he's not going to do it. He's going to go for fast gas, and it's fast tech, which means fast mutalisks or fast hydralisks.
The Terran choosing to go with an early
going the same thing as well before the barracks. Both players going to tech this game.
We have a first supply depot up for Sherwin. His refinery up as well now, extracting that Vespene gas.
Now Terran making the barracks at the corner of the screen. You got to remember Terran buildings can fly. This is an island map. I would bet that since the building's made in this location, he's probably going to lift it off after he makes his first Marine, go around and scout.
You think he's going to scout, or do you think he'll land it on main ground and then start producing units?
That's a very good point. There's a very high possibility he can do that as well, actually.
So we'll look for both of those strategies from Sherwin here very shortly, as that barracks is almost finished and ready.
Now Sean got out of there pretty fast. I'm wondering if Yosh actually saw that. Some of these Zerg players are so fast they'll see you and they'll turn around immediately to try to get out of there. Because the last thing Sean wants is to give any hint of where he is.
We have a Zerg hatchery going down yet again in the main base for Sean.
Very common. Zerg always at least have 2 hatcheries, even if they only have 1 base. That's the only building that they can use to produce units. Spawning pool about to go up. When that spawning pool finishes, we can count on seeing the layers start. I'm wondering if we're going to see 1 layer or 2 layers. It's coming for Zerg to do 2 layers. That way they can upgrade Overlord speed and Overlord drop to do some fast drop action.
Our first factory going down for Sherwin. That is halfway completed, and it will appear that you were correct, and that Terran barracks will be scouting. He's unfortunately scouting
the wrong
direction. We saw this again.
It looks like
the 16th
got that
round.
Overlord out of there fast enough that Terran has no idea. In fact, the barracks might even run into this Overlord, in which he might realize he is in the completely wrong direction. Now, all right. Looks like we're going to see some old school Yosh going over here. 2 factories. 2 factories is exactly what you do not do against Zerg, but this is exactly what Yosh proved to the rest of the world that you could. He's going to go mech. He's going to open up for some kind of mech opener. No mech Marine. Not vessels. We're going to see tanks. We're going to see Goliaths, and maybe even some Valkyries.
That first factory has been built, and it is lifted. We'll see that set down just on the bottom side of the ledge here.
He's probably going to build a bike there, see if he can't pick off the first drone that is made when it tries to make the hatchery.
Upgrading the Zerg layer here. We have a
1 layer build.
Zerg evolution chamber and a spawning pool built.
Excuse me, I have a bit of a cold. He got the evolution chamber up. I have no spore colonies, so he's probably upgrading either armor or attack. As you can see, nobody really has any attacking units. They're on an island map that Bike's making. This is probably going to be the first actual offensive unit that Terran's made. He's going to just send that over to the expansion. Terran still has no idea where Zerg is, mind you.
He's working that barracks down to the bottom corner of the map now.
Now you got to notice how many workers Terran has. This is the real dividing point of where you see StarCraft and Warcraft 3. StarCraft, you can keep making workers. You can have as many workers as you want, which means you can have as many units as you want, where unlike Warcraft 3, you only have 4 or 5 mining the entire game.
We have a Hydralisk Den spawned into play already for Sean. He's going for the heavy units very quickly.
Now, I'm curious if he's going to be upgrading Hydralisk speed or if he's going to be upgrading the lurker aspect upgrade. Because if he happens to upgrade the lurker upgrade, it would probably not be too good against exactly what Yoshi's doing right now.
It looks like that Sherwin has lifted that factory back up onto his main base island. And he has created a machine shop in the second factory and left that on the island as well.
We can count on Goliaths. That's what I'm getting. I'm betting 2 Goliaths coming out of here, maybe a Goliath and a tank, but definitely no bikes.
Goliaths are definitely going to help protect against those overlords.
This bike peeking around, he wants to find that first drone. If he can kill that first drone, that's just a few seconds that can buy him some time before Zerg gets up his first expansion. You got to remember, Zerg is an expansion-intensive race. I mean, you watch Protoss, you watch Terran, they don't even have half the expansions Zerg have. So, I mean, they're this race that works off of overwhelming their players. Sean wants to get this first expansion up. He's on an island. He has to get off of it.
Lots of Hydralisks coming into play, and we have been scanned here.
All right, he sees what he's going. He sees a lot of Hydralisks. I'm betting he got the Hydralisk speed and not the lurker.
That was exactly the right spot for Sherwin to scan to, as he saw exactly what Sean was up to.
We can see that Yosh is putting a supply depots on the corner of the island in the hopes that he can see a drop just a few seconds earlier if it were to come in. All right, we got a drop ship loading. I didn't get a glimpse, but I'm wondering if this is full of Goliaths.
It possibly could be.
Okay, SCV starting the expansion. Now, unlike that last game, I think if Yosh were to do the exact same plan he did the last game, I think it would work a lot better. Terran are in a much better position to play really defensive on an island map, just build up, because Zerg, they have to drop, they have to pick up their overlords, they have to move places, they can't be offensive as easily. I'm interested in seeing how this game plays out.
Watching where this SCV of Sherwin is headed just at the moment here. Down to the bottom left corner of the map.
As you can see, Overlord speed is done. The Overlords are moving quickly around, and I'm sure drop is probably done as well. This is where the game could start picking up. All right, Goliaths want to kill this Overlord. if they can get it.
Sean doing an excellent job of running that Overlord.
Yosh does not want Zerg to have his Overlords in his territory. He does not want Zerg to have an idea of what he can do. This is an advantage, not an imbalance, but certainly an advantage that Zerg has and needs. They can put their Overlords all over the map. They can spot everywhere, and they need that. Terran has to do everything in his power to keep that out of the way.
We have 4 siege tanks produced and waiting at the main base of Sherwin. Several Goliaths as well. Dropship picking up a few SCVs here.
Now remember, Terran, a lot of pressures on Terran. I mean, there's a lot of money on the line here, a lot of pride. Terran wants to win this. He's gonna pull out his best stuff this game. Also importantly, for those of you who follow StarCraft, and for those of you who don't know, Yosh initially won WCG Canada, got second WCG Canada, using his original mech style of play, which we're seeing now, tanks and Goliaths. And also managed to do an incredible game versus the infamous StarCraft player Boxer at WCG, barely losing a Terran versus Terran. I mean, these are some powerful players we're watching here.
Continuing to add siege tanks to his army. Sherwin keeping those factories working.
Got to drop at the bottom left. Sherwin probably made this depot just to spot and see if Zerg's going to expand there. Sherwin's saying, hey man, what's your first move? What are you going to do? I'm watching you.
Sean using those Overlords and those Hydralisks.
All right, Bike's going to get this drone. That's really annoying for Zerg right now. Zerg's got to get another drone. He's going to make him chase the Bike to the corner. All right, no, he already had another drone. All right, he was ready for Yosh to do something like that. That's actually good, because the last thing Zerg wants to do is be behind by just a couple seconds right here. All right, Terran expanding it. He's going to be just a few seconds ahead of the expansion. They're both playing at the same rate. That's not something Zerg is going to be comfortable with right now. Command center landing.
So what can Sean do to accelerate his game to put himself ahead of the Terran right now?
Well, I know it sounds simple, but it's really, really hard. He's going to have to just expand more, which is a frustrating thing when you're on an island map. You got to pick up all your Hydralisks. You got to drop them in different spots. It's going to be frustrating. Terran, on the other hand, is going to be able to build up strong defenses. He's going to be able to hold back. The siege tanks cover more areas. They're more ranged.
And we have the Terran expanding just below the main base. 2 siege tanks in siege mode, and a factory moved down as well. Lots of SCVs being dropped off by that dropship. They're going to be, again, mining those mineral patches. We have an Overlord sitting just outside of that expansion to the southwest side of that Vespene geyser.
Now, from what I can see right now, and I don't blame Yosh for not doing it, if I was Terran and I knew what Zerg had, I would go kill Zerg right now. He's got it. This is a lot of units Yosh has, and Hydralisks are very strong against this type of build. Sean's playing it by the book. This is exactly what him and I had to practice against to learn how to beat mech.
It looks like Sherwin is moving a couple more factories down to that lower level.
Low ground. I think we can see a push coming up here pretty soon.
So machine shops being added to those as well. We're going to see lots of siege tanks being produced very quickly here.
Now, what's important to remember on this map is while we were talking about this being an island map, it's really what's sometimes referred to as a platform map. You start out on an island, but after that, everything else is on land. So there's going to be a lot of land-to-land battles going on. Sean dropping some more Hydralisks onto low ground. Waiting for Yosh to come out and possibly push. We have a lot of factories. All right, all of Yosh's factories have now been lifted and put onto the low ground, the place where we're going to see most of the action. I'm betting he put a lot of add-ons on there. That probably means a lot of tanks, mainly because I don't see a Spire yet.
Seeing a couple dropships pick up some siege tanks at the moment, and we may see a tank drop very shortly here in the main base of Sean.
Okay, all right, tanks unsieging. Okay, guys, get ready. We got to see if Yosh can do it.
Hydralisk staging for attack.
Now remember, he's only got 2 hatches on low ground. I don't know if he's going to be able to produce it. All right, we got the push. I don't know if Sean should have expanded here. This is so close. Look at this. It's like a screen length apart from each other.
We have Goliath and siege tanks about to interact with one another as the battle will rage just between these two bases.
All right,
on
siege
level
tank
ground.
leapfrogging, going over here. Zerg, very uncomfortable position. He brought. All right, he's got some Hydralisks at the bottom, some Hydralisks at the left. He's waiting for the moment where he can try to flank. Yosh leapfrogging really fast right now. First building's getting shot. This is not a comfortable position to be in.
Those siege tanks going down
Hydralisk
into siege mode.
No, these guys got to back up. All right, the hatchery's barely in siege tank range. That is when the pressure is on Zerg. He's got to make his move, and I do not know. Okay, drop coming in. All right, massive attack. Can he do it? Can he do it?
Oh, those siege tanks
These
in
siege tanks
mode.
are obliterating the Hydralisks, but the Hydralisks are going to get dropped onto the siege tanks. No, it does not matter. This is what Yosh
not
blew.
looking good for Sean right now at all.
You know, for a StarCraft player, I cannot believe Yosh ever managed to use the exact opposite units in the game to do something so well against Zerg. All right, he killed the Goliaths, but there are so many tanks here, I don't know if it matters.
We have some Mutalisks now trying to attack those siege tanks. We'll see
he's firing at the drones.
We'll see if Sean can run those siege tanks
Goliath's
off.
going to catch up with these Mutalisks. Very uncomfortable position for Zerg to be in right now.
We have 2 Goliaths left to protect these siege tanks, and
Sean's a little bit shooken up. He didn't move those overlords in time. They're getting shaken out.
in a matter of seconds, Sherwin has eliminated that expansion position from Sean.
All right, Sherwin is doing an excellent job here. I was wondering if he was going to be able to pull it off this game. The only option Zerg has is to keep making Mutalisks, and you know, Goliaths are certainly very strong against Mutalisks, but Zerg has to get another expansion up right now because as you can see, we got SCVs building over here at the top right corner. They got another expansion coming up, and it's a gas expo. That means Yoshi's going to be able to keep doing what he's doing. Tanks, Goliaths. I mean, something that Zerg does not want to see right now.
You got to say, though, Sean is trying his best to take care of those Goliaths with those Mutalisks. I mean, what can you do in that position, though? I mean, you have so many Goliaths.
So many Goliaths,
so many
and they're so strong against air. Well, you know, I'll tell you is you got to stay low tech early. You got to, you know, he doesn't have as many tanks as he would Marines or as many Goliaths as he would medics.
Those missile turrets also placed in the exact proper places by Sherwin to aid those Goliaths in eliminating any forces that Sean may bring through the air.
Sean going around, he's checking his defense. He's doing anything he can to try to stall time because Sherwin is building up just a massive amount of Goliaths down here.
We're jumping
Okay, Sherwin has somehow crept into Yosha's main. He's doing some serious damage right now. As you can see, Yosh has nothing in his main as he landed all of his factories on low ground to kill that expansion.
Going for the SCVs with those Mutalisks, working on the...
Oh, this is not something Terran wants to have happen to him right now after a serious blow to
But you know what? The mineral patches are almost expired in that main base. It's not going to be good for Sherwin to lose those SCVs, but he's not losing much economy-wise.
But if you notice, it looks like what Sean wants is the depots. He wants to get those depots so that he can't make more tanks, make more Goliaths. All right, Yosh decided, all right, I don't even care about my main. I'm going to send my stuff right down to the bottom left and basically kill your only expansion. Now, Sean is building sunken colonies like crazy right now, trying to do the damage he can to Yosh's main. But Yosh really says, look, man, I don't care. I'm just going to come down here.
And you know what? I don't think that bottom left expansion has a
it's gonna be able to
single
hold it.
chance.
All right, the Mutalisks coming back. He's saying, all right, has he mustered up enough Mutalisks? Has he done enough damage to those depots to stop him from making enough Goliaths to kill off this expansion? I don't know if he's done it. I honestly have no idea who's going to win right now.
He's going to have to get him down there fast. Those siege tanks going into siege mode right now, blocking off that upper bridge.
A bit prematurely there. I think there's a lot of pressure that siege tank's actually going to block off that left bridge. Okay, all right, this is not looking good. All right, Mutalisks have got to back out right now.
An army of Goliaths absolutely volleying an incredible amount of rockets towards those Mutalisks. Sean had no choice but to back them off or risk losing all of them.
This is very bad for Zerg right now. I don't know what I would do if I was Zerg, but
this expansion is about to fall in just a couple moments.
Okay, this is not a comfortable position for Zerg at all.
Siege tanks going into siege mode just outside of the creep range here. Those sunken collies will not be able to do anything at all from the Goliaths that will wreak havoc all over the drones.
Now you got to remember, Sean, believe it or not, no, he's a crazy player. He can still pull something off. He's keeping making Mutalisks. If he could somehow perhaps drop to an island, expand there, he might be able to do something. Sean, all right, Yosh has a lot of towers at the top right corner of the map. He is definitely ready for some Mutalisks to come over there. If I was Mutalisk, I definitely would not want to be where those towers are.
The missile turrets he has created around this newly created expansion. Good game.
1-1, everybody. Final match.
And we will be seeing a tiebreaker here. A great answered map
that was an
by
excellent
Sherwin against Sean. And I got to say, it was incredible to see that Zerg meching that you had described to us earlier.
It's not, Yosh does it better than everyone else. A lot of people say that, after Yosh started doing mech, that Boxer copied it and started making it big in Korea. I mean, I didn't know if he was still good enough to beat someone like Sean, who's basically one of the best Zergs easily outside Korea right now, but he definitely proved that he could.
Or tiebreaker map, Azalea.
Azalea. Now, this is a really interesting map because there's no elevation on this map. It's all low ground, and it's going to be a lot of action. There might be a lot of rushes from Terran. This could be a really short game, or it could be really long and dramatic. And I need to move down to the observer slot.